Coming up on this episode of Outlook TV. Heart and Soul with the unstoppable Connie Smudge.
The Union LGBTQ Wedding Show.
Queen's Care Fundraiser with Angus. And much, much more. Hello and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay, and you're watching the Queer Magazine news show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast.
We're going to kick it off in Richmond with the Heart and Soul Foundation.
The unstoppable Connie Smudge both reports and hosts this wonderful fundraiser. Let's check it out.
Oh, hi, kittens. It's your intrepid reporter, the unstoppable Connie Smudge, right here at the heart of Richmond. It's the heart and soul of Richmond, my darling. It's an HIV/AIDS charity that has been going on for over 2 decades, my darlings. I have got a cavalcade of stars. Mandy Camp, Carlotta Girl, all the people here, even the mayor came out. Oh my God, Malcolm Brody, I love you. I've got people to introduce. I've got a show to put on. Come on, I want to show you everything about Heart and Soul of Richmond. Yeah. This is the 15th annual Heart and Soul Fundraiser, hosted by the Heart of Richmond's AIDS Society, and it just gets better and better every year.
No, it's been great. A lot of good people with us on the board, helping, volunteering. It's just been wonderful, and there's no reason why it can't get bigger and better as time goes on.
When my son was ill,
Yeah.
we were out here in Richmond,
Yeah.
and there was just nothing available. So everything that we did, doctors, any appointments that he had, we had to go into town. And of course, at that time, he didn't have a car, so if he was on his own, it was a bus.
It really began with Joanna, who was working and made the comment that when she retired, she was going to do something about AIDS, remembering Steve and knowing the difficulties he had and other people. She thought she would do something, and she was thinking of joining one of the Vancouver organizations, and I said, well, I wonder, is there anything in Richmond? Mm-hmm. And she did a lot of poking around and met some people, and finally we came across a small group of people, people with HIV and their families, and we got together as a small group.
This is an organization that does wonderful work in our community. And it is one of those things that separates Richmond, if I might say so, from other communities, because we want to provide the services that are important to the important people of our community, and that's what exactly we're doing.
So I'm able to tell the students what it was like living through the early stages of HIV in the 80s and early 90s, where many of us lost colleagues, friends, family members to the disease. And a lot of us were actually afraid we'd be next. And that was a really, really scary time.
Start spreading the news. I'll be there today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
Well, it is from the heart, and it's in memory of my son. And as Brian said, we met a few people who were interested, and it inspired us to get going.
Kittens, that was a night in Richmond, and that is the heart and soul of Richmond. Oh my goodness, there was talent. There was so much generosity, so much information supplied. The heart and soul of Richmond is the heart of me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am still your intrepid reporter, the unstoppable Connie Smudge, reporting for Outlook TV.
I think you should pay particular attention to this next story, Robert.
Why is that, Rebecca?
Well, because it's a trip to the LGBTQ wedding show.
We're at the second annual Union Wedding Show here in Vancouver, which is Western Canada's first LGBT plus wedding show. We're in a brand new venue this year, and we're going to check it out and see all the exhibitors and find out what's happening for 2017.
Well, right from the very beginning last year, it's been overwhelming and wonderful. And we have so many different people coming in the door today. It's really great to see so many different people, not just people in the LGBTQ community. We see some other people coming in as well, which is wonderful.
I think this year we've got about 75% LGBT-owned businesses at our show, which is definitely more than last year and incredible. We're very lucky.
That's great. Now, how do you get the word out?
This community is wonderful about that, so it's just been getting around, and we do a lot of marketing and social media.
It's all bespoke wedding invitations, and as well as day of stationery, and things like wedding websites, wax seals, signage, all the things you might need to make your big day special. This is our So Homo wedding topper. As you can see, it is extremely fancy. They can be done to say anything that you want, including Mrs. and Mrs. or Mr. and Mr. are very popular.
So we're based out of Mission. We're a mobile bartending service. We go anywhere you want, and we basically bring the bar with us. So as long as you supply the booze, we can supply absolutely everything else.
We could do a blueberry mojito, which consists of blueberry, lime, mint, and typically white rum, as well as soda.
And who would that be for?
Oh, it could be for 2 grooms, 2 brides, you name it.
I am the first trans goldsmith in Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that something that your customers know about?
I am really out because I was the first Asian trans guy to transition in Vancouver.
Okay.
And people do know that, and it really has made me who I am and who I am about, what I offer in my work. The love and integrity that goes into my work is all about my journey as a trans person, so absolutely. You know, I do have some trans clients, and then some trans clients are not out as trans, and the gender fluid are more visible in terms of that, and I would really love to have a lot more trans and gender fluid clients because that's who I am, right? And I offer that space of knowing what that world is, and you're not an L or a B or a G or whatever, right? We are trans, and that's just who we are.
Life cycle celebrants. We work with the couple to express what their beliefs are, what their quirks are, and really make sure that they are completely represented in their ceremony. I honor the milestones of your life in a modern way. Maybe I will create something brand new for you. Maybe you met in a coffee shop, and perhaps we would do a coffee ceremony and how that represents your relationship.
I'm a DJ in Vancouver. I do weddings, birthday parties, but here particularly for weddings.
Okay. And do you deal with the LGBTQ market?
Yes, I do, and the +2 market as well. Yes, exactly.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Pratt in Vancouver.
We're going to have to take a little break now.
Cable's bothering me.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
In this next story, Angus covers the DaveyBuyersClub.com.
We're at the SFU campus at Harbour Centre in downtown Vancouver for the 2017 Gay Men's Health Summit. Today we're going to talk with Alex Smith, the man behind the Davey Buyers Club. Let's go meet him.
As a registered nurse, I worked at the Health Initiative for Men on Commercial Drive in Vancouver, where it was essentially every day that I was asked by my clients for PrEP, usually multiple times a day. And you know, with the lack of a public program and with very few clients with a Cadillac insurance policy, there was very little that I could do for these clients. That was often where the conversation began and ended.
PrEP is an acronym that stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. So it is a daily pill containing 2 anti-HIV medicines that are taken by people who are HIV negative, but are at risk of being exposed and becoming HIV positive. And this medicine is up to 99% effective at preventing HIV infection. So it's a safe and highly effective, well-tolerated prevention tool. My website describes the process first for people to connect with a primary care provider in order to be assessed and get a prescription for PrEP, and then how to fill that prescription at an overseas pharmacy at a much reduced cost. So when I authored the website, the cost of PrEP was about $1,000 per person per month. By importing this generic medicine from abroad, the cost is about $45. The medicine, like you said, can't be shipped directly to Canada. It has to be shipped to the United States, who permits that. My website guides people how to set up a parcel receiving service at the US border. So Canadians who want to access PrEP in an affordable way have to send it to their US parcel receiving service and then drive across the border and physically on their person import it to Canada with their valid prescription. And all of those processes I've described are permitted within the law and the regulations.
What it is not is an actual buyer's club. You know, that term actually has meaning. I do not buy, sell, or otherwise distribute any medication. Why did a straight dude from Calgary create the Davey Buyers Club?
Some of these young men in particular who had asked me for PrEP later were diagnosed with HIV, and that was highly upsetting and distressing to me to see this avoidable outcome that we could have prevented with an effective, acceptable medical treatment for this patient that was not available. So yeah, essentially it was seeing people needlessly diagnosed with HIV that ultimately inspired me to act.
This piece on engagement here talks about how many people have visited the website. On a typical day, about 50 people visit it, over 17,000 visits as of when my slides were due. This also highlights a big part of my continued involvement.
There are a lot of rumblings in the community about provincial coverage. You know, I've heard the word imminent thrown around, which is very encouraging. I look forward to that news, and the details of that news, whether it's going to be covered completely or if it will be tied to a person's income, is yet to be seen. I would hope for universal coverage, but at this point, we'll take whatever we can get. Although I would love to shut down my website any day now, I unfortunately see it still being required going into the future, even if universal PrEP coverage is allowed for British Columbia, because there are many others in Canada who still require access to PrEP.
Worth 1,000 words. This is a graphic.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Proch in Vancouver.
Let's go check out Positive Living's new office space.
Time to crack out the comically large scissors, because there's a ribbon a-cutting.
Hi, I'm Brad Mitchell with Outlook TV, and we are here at the official ribbon cutting with Positive Living BC.
It's a beautiful facility. It's bright, it's warm, it's welcoming, and it's about time that our membership had this kind of facility downtown. It's a wonderful combination they view the city has used here. So they built 4 floors of a purpose space for nonprofits, which we are eternally grateful for. But on top of that, they were able to build numbers of floors of social housing, which is affordable housing. We're happy that some of our members will be able to apply to live in this building.
A great day of celebration as we open a fantastic new building here at 1105 Seymour. And I'm Mayor Gregor Robertson. I'm going to be your MC today. So this building is also really special because of the social service space. And I'm joined by the partners who are taking on this space: Positive Living BC, AIDS Vancouver, the Swan Vancouver Society, and Aunt Leah's. All extraordinary organizations who give so much to community, taking care of people here in Vancouver and beyond.
With a membership of more than 5,800 HIV-positive British Columbians and a proud history spanning 3 decades, we are Western Canada's largest HIV/AIDS organization and an established leader in HIV/AIDS movement in Canada, in fact, in the world. And one of the things we're offering here is a women's only space, a safe women's only space for HIV-positive women, Viva Women's Committee. And that committee is all women and all HIV-positive women, and they are the ones that elicit from the female members, the women members, to see what kind of programs and support services or social events that HIV positive women can have.
We are now standing in the health and wellness area of our new facility. Health and wellness is a bunch of programs that are developed so that people can get some of the extra health care services that they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. Things like massage therapy, yoga, reflexology, and the like.
Tell us about peer navigation.
So peer navigation is a program that we developed where people living with HIV actually are peers to newly diagnosed people, and they help navigate their way through the various systems. A couple private offices. We have a couple offices for our prison outreach project, and then a collective area in the middle for peer navigators to come in and work.
Here we are at the iCafe at Positive Living BC. And in the members lounge, you will find Polly and Esther's Closet. And this is a place where you can bring all your unwanted items, household items or unwanted clothing, and it gets redistributed to people in need. This has been Brad Mitchell with Outlook TV.
Up next, we've got another fundraiser to cover for you.
The people with the biggest heart are queens, so we've got Queen's Care in this next story.
We're at Celebrities Nightclub in Vancouver's Davey Village for Queen's Care 10. Now tonight we're going to see some of Vancouver's top female impersonators, and we also have a few from out of town. Let's go meet them.
I'm so prestigious and happy to be co-hosting with Joni, the originator and purveyor of Queen's Care, which happened 10 years ago today. So it's a joy and an honor to be a part of it again and to be asked back to do this again.
We got lots of style, check out gold diamond rings. We can go for miles if you know what I mean.
To raise money for dear amazing friends of ours, DJ Jules and Empress Diana Rose, who were huge, huge inspirations for me and for many other people in the community. So for me, it's very personal and very lovely to be a part of this.
I can't believe it has been 10 years, but looking back, it's just been a monumental decade of fantastic performers and lots and lots of money being raised to a lot of deserving charities.
Every day you go along dawn till sundown, and here's the rundown. Every day that comes once in
I believe in philanthropy, and I believe that drag queens are the backbone of the fundraising community in our community, and Queen's Care is close to my heart. I love Diana and I love Jules, and of course Joni's one of my dearest friends. So when Joni started this, I've been in about 5 or 6 of them over the years, and this is the 10th anniversary.
let's feel each minute down. Every day that comes once in a lifetime.
Well, I started out at BJ's and Faces. Sandy St. Peter's and I had a duo show at Faces in 1980-81, and I started at BJ's Show Bar before that.
This is an annual fundraiser that Joni and Carlotta have put on for 10 years now. This is the 10th one, and it is full proceeds going to the DMS, no matter what charities they are that year. This year my charities are the Health Initiative for Men, Rainbow Refugee, Women Against Violence Against Women, and ZZ Theater, and it all goes to these charities in honor of Diana Rose and DJ Jules. So I'm very happy to be here again. This is my 4th Queen's Care, but this time I'm the Empress, so it's a little bit different, but it's always exciting.
It's been something that has been really part of our community, and I fortunately have been part of here for probably over 20 years now. So it's really great to be able to come back every year and just get together with a bunch of friends and really celebrate the lives of DJ Jules and the amazing Diana Rose and each other.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Pratt at Queen's Care 10 at Celebrities Nightclub in Vancouver.
It's time for us to take another little break.
I'm gonna go psych myself up for the next stories.
Hey, I'm Patrick Massey, and you're watching Outlook TV in
Damn those magazines, killing my self-esteem. Nobody's perfect like that.
Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
I hope you have your Sunday best on, because Out on Screen has their fall gala.
Ooh, they're raising money for Out in Schools.
Hi, I'm Derek with Outlook TV, and I'm reporting at the 15th Annual Out on Screen's Fall Gala, supporting Out in School and the Vancouver Queer Film Festival. Tonight's a live art auction. Let's go in and check it out.
This is a fundraiser, right? We're going to raise all the monies for this fabulous organization to save all the children's. So that's our job. We're going to do that in 3 ways. The first way is you're going to buy some art. Number 2 is to raise more money, and you have another opportunity to do that by buying a raffle ticket. The third job tonight, be your freaking fabulous selves. I love the queers and the trans.
I just want to say this is year 15. This event started in my husband and I's house with a salad bowl collecting money for Out in Schools. And one of the things that is so important to us is that our job, all of our job in the room, is to leave a legacy to make sure that not one child, by the time my life ends, sits in a classroom and wonders if they're worthy. That will not happen under my watch.
Out on Screen is an organization that's been around for 29, almost 30 years now. It's evolved from just being a queer film festival or a gay and lesbian film festival to a queer film festival to also including this really wonderful program called Out in Schools, which brings film and media into classrooms throughout the province.
So Out in Schools is my baby in many, many ways. Although I did not start it, I've been the education director for a year, and then previous to that, I was the program coordinator. But Out in Schools essentially is a program that brings queer, trans, two-spirit films into schools across British Columbia, and we have a team of facilitators to talk about the LGBTQ+ lived experience.
Give you all the time 16, beat you there 17, 18, 17 a bit, 18 to 5, 17, 18, gonna be your turn now, 17 a bit, 18 to 5, 17 on top.
Basically, we use film and art to create empathetic community experiences to uplift the lives of queer and trans people both locally and around the world.
Education, as we all know, is power, and ignorance is a weakness. And as I was just saying, with backlash against great policies like sexual orientation and gender identity education, it's important that people know that these things are saving kids' lives.
I'm Derek, reporting for Outlook TV at the BMO Theatre Centre in Vancouver, BC, for the Out on Screen's 15th Annual Fall Gala.
It's time to see what Patrick Massey is up to.
You mean the first out gay country star?
The very one.
Ooh, I'm gonna put on my boots.
We're in Vancouver's Davey Village, where we're going to speak today to country singer Patrick Massey. He's got a new single coming out. He's going to be performing at Las Vegas Pride, and then he's going down under for some new adventures. Let's go talk with him.
And damn those magazines, killing my self-esteem. Nobody's perfect like that.
Well, I was born and raised in Vancouver. Grew up in the Fraserview-Killarney area, and then, went to school here, and then I got into music, I guess in the mid-90s. I started the BC Songwriter Showcases, and then I just it all fell into it. I was in Nashville doing my first record a year later, and just been 19 years later, here I am still doing it, so.
For our audience, you're an openly gay country singer. Now that's had some challenges over the year. Can you speak to being an openly gay country singer for our audience?
Yeah, it definitely has. There's been a lot of challenges over the years, like lost a major record deal, sort of had to restart my career when I wouldn't, I guess, bow to the pressures that be, sort of thing. And when I came out publicly, even before that, few months before that, this was back probably 2002 area around then, and I had to start over because so that's why I guess my journey's taken a little bit longer than maybe, my fellow country singers that don't have the pressure of the being openly gay in the public eye, especially in country music, because it is, you know, it's more of a conservative, right-wing sort of mentality. Not even so much the fans, I would say, but some of the gatekeepers. So it was definitely a big challenge.
Little bit of Saturday, little bit of Saturday.
The great folks at Las Vegas Pride are bringing me down, and we're doing a press tour as well when we're down there. So we're going to do a bunch of the local Vegas shows. Like, as you know, because you go to a lot of prides, a lot of the prides suffer from time to time, and they don't get the exposure or the funding they need. So that was kind of why we wanted to do some press to help them out.
Go your own, go your own, go your own way.
You have a new single coming out.
Yeah, it's called Let's Ride. So we're just getting off, it's off the heels of, I did a duet this summer with Drake Jensen called Go Your Own Way. So you check it out on YouTube, the video's out there. And so we're gonna be releasing Let's Ride, which is my next single. So we're gonna kind of kick that off with this press tour we start in Vegas and then carry on down into Los Angeles and some other places and do a lot of press. And
Little bit of Saturday, little bit of Saturday.
It's humbling to think that Katie Lang, myself, and Drake Jensen were 3 country singers who are Canadian, who will, you know, hopefully in 5 or 10 years we can look back, specifically in my genre and country music, and we will have changed that, you know, so artists aren't being judged or, you know, held back because they choose to come out and be openly gay.
For Outlook TV, this is Angus Pratt in Davey Village in Vancouver.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this episode of Outlook TV. But fortunately, we'll be back again soon.
And 24/7, you've got the internet. And we're on all the social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. And shoot us an email if you'd like to volunteer with us.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Robert Mackay. Stay fabulous, Canada.